Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 1, Episode 24. This episode, I assume, is going to be amazing. I mean, leaving off with the copy of Frieren descending into frame, one of the most intimidating things I could ever imagine. Do you have any expectation of Denkin and Fam? Do you think that they will overcome the obstacle that is this copy of Frieren?
Part of me finds it hard to believe that anyone could beat a copy of Frieren, let alone the actual Frieren.
Yeah.
So I don't really have too much hope for them, but I'm also like, what else would happen? Because I don't think they're gonna die.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
maybe they'll do it.
They could use the golem to escape, but I think that Denkin could think up a strategy like myself in that point at a mimic and hope for the best.
Ooh, yes. If it's Frieren with Frieren's memories, maybe we can play with that a little bit.
God, we're looking at a screenshot of the end of last episode, and I love how Laufen looks. She's like, oh, shit's about to get real. You know what I mean?
And the, like, dialogue on the screen is like, can we deal with that? I guess we will find out if they can deal with that.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh my god, this is so exciting.
If I take the intro too seriously, then I feel like they won't defeat this copy of Frieren.
I think you have a good point with the
Because
intro.
we have Fern and Frieren in front of what is probably the copy of Frieren.
See, this just isn't fair. Perfect replicas. Oh my lord.
That's intimidating sounding. Mirror. Mirror.
Looks like Fern. Whoa.
And mana? Oh, they're not beating Frieren. Self-analysis.
I love that so much. It'd be perfect if everybody stuck together, right? Oh. God.
Yeah, not good.
Oh my god.
We're gonna wait here until more people get to this level, and then we're gonna all go in the room again together.
You wanted it.
Oh, injury.
They took
the golem! That's so Ubel. That's so Ubel's copy to take the golem.
Interesting route to take here. Incapable of speaking. Oh. Do you think that it could escape itself and leave and live its own life? Or is it bound to this temple, to this dungeon? Copying personality, right?
Here's the self-analysis.
Oh, fuck, land.
それは君が生き残るためのものだ。
へえ。じゃあメガネくん、ちょっと待っていてね。瓶を取り返してくる。
Okay. Woo! Oh my gosh.
まあ、距離をソルガニールの発動条件は視界に前進。
Limit the point of view. Oh, beautiful.
先に距離を見誤った方が
Whoever miscalculates first. Oh my
The
god.
distance.
実力が互角なら勝ちから運が悪いから運で決まる。
What a point of view shot. This is incredible.
だから私はまったくこの死にたぐりはしょうがないんだ。やっぱり運が悪い。
Oh no.
Your body was in full.
そっちの方がもっと運が悪かった。メガネくん、意外と
Woo!
The bottle was fake too.
Damn.
But he came in
That's
here
so
to save
fucking
her.
Cool, man.
He came in here to save
That's
her.
so
That's
fucking
so
cool. Land is so fucking cool, man. I love like the smeared effect.
原始の僕が分身だと分かっていたんだな。急ぐような真似をした。
メガネくんが来てくれると確信したからかな。
がそんなお人よしに見えたのか。
いや、全然。というか、そんなことどうでもいい。メガネくんはさ、私の瓶を受け取ろうとしなかった。
because the other one was a fake, so it's not like.
自分のせいで誰かが死ぬのが嫌なんだ。
Yep.
メガネくんのせいで私が
She's diabolical. I love her.
She's a fucking maniac.
ありがとうね、メガネくん。君のことが分かった気がするよ。
そうか。それは良かったな。交換できそうか。
まだ時間はかかるかな。
They're perfect.
I love them.
Look at them. Just hold hands.
We'll just have like a show separate that's just them.
ちょっとマップ見せて。このフロアは探索し尽くしたと思いますが、隠し部屋がある。きっとお宝だよ。
Or a mimic.
この雰囲気、ひょっとすると可能性も。
God.
でも、
You can zoom in and out.
どこにもありませんでしたし。確かにね。部屋は間違いなくあるはずだから。
Can we put a secret room in our house? What? Look at them all rotating. That was so fucking cool.
Who keeps all of those candles lit
I
though?
look,
That's
no,
my
it's like
question.
it's like a conjunction spell. Like it's like with opening this door, the
It will
candles
light.
light.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
that's my thought.
フリーレン様、すごいですね。
Whoa. Look at the history.
埋葬された王の功績が描かれているな。のいい統一王朝期の壁画は。
I wonder if this is the first time it's been opened since it's been sealed, you know?
壮観ですね。
Wow! It's mutual. I wonder if Friren's gonna have like a inkling for archaeology.
本当に順調すぎるぐらい。
What a transition.
もしかしてこのまま合格してしまう
Do you hear the echoes?
かもしれないね。
We are all meeting here.
どうしたの？こんなところに集まって。
あれが人度ってもう半日になる。
Uh-oh.
ダンジョン攻略はこうでなくちゃ。
Oh my god!
完璧な複製体か。確かにあれは私と同等の。
あの複製体を何とかしない限り最深部へ何か手立てはあるか。
そうだね。あれがもしも再現したものだとしたら
Self-analysis.
弱点は
格上の魔
A
法
mimic.
使いを倒すとしたら高速魔法か。
どちらにも耐性があるけれど
だがわずかな隙は生まれ、お前ならそれさえあればあれを倒せるはずだ。そういう小細工は得意だろう。
得意というほどではありませんが、では失礼して。これは興味深い。通用しませんね。いい匂い。
Look at Fern.
Fern's jelly.
には私の目を見てください。
Whoa.
操作魔法も無理ですね。フリーレンさんの精神防御が破れます。
本当も耐性があるようだな。
Oh my god, that's so
精
cute.
神防御の構築は複雑でだいぶ古い術式のようです。専門家なら脆弱性をつけるかもしれません。
心当たりは
エーデル2級魔法使いなら可能かと。ですが私と違って戦闘能力ここまで来られるかどうか。精神操作魔法は相手に心がないと通用しません。ただそこまで
There's something about this voice actress that is so calming.
まだまだ情報
That's the girl we're talking about, right?
あれは何だと思う？
Is that sense?
さあ
Poor them. Oh my god.
1級魔法使い全然
もう倒すしかない。
倒せると思うのかブライ。
ダンジョン戦闘に適しています。
Ooh.
That's fucking
魔法
awesome.
時代にほとんどのダンジョンが攻略された弊害じゃな。無から物質を作り出すよりもその場にある物質を操少ないからの。だがその点あれは相当うまくやっている。あの紙には幾重もの魔法がかけられておる。このダンジョン内でも無数の手段で戦えると考えていいじゃろう。魔法はイメージの世界。髪の毛という数えるのも不可能なほどの膨大な数の糸を自在に変異。普通の人間とはかけ離れたイメージ。
Superhuman imagination.
わしらよりもはるかに格上の魔法使いじゃ。正直ここまで逃げおせたのは奇跡だと思うぞ。
お前の声は通らないのか？
確かに精神操作魔法はわしの一
My
族
family's calling.
があれ相手に高度な命令の条件をできるとすればせいぜいひざまずかせて隙を作る程度。それでも目を合わせて声をかけねばならん。
不可能ではないんだな。
心があればの話じゃ。
Assuming it has a mind.
時間を稼げば。
15秒じゃ。
どういうことだ？
It already knows where you are.
Mhm.
今にわかる。
Oh my lord.
防御魔法を全面展開しろ。防御魔法を破る方法は2種類じゃ。技術でかいくぐるか。手数で攻める輩は大抵後者。驚いた。まさかその両方があるとは。
Jesus Christ.
さじゃあ防御魔法の全面展が限界だと考えて
We don't even have the
いるのか。
15 seconds.
まさかそれよりも早く破られるとはな。
Amazing.
だが目はあったの。優秀なる。ひざまずけ。
Whoa! Oh shit!
なるほど。よくわかった。心がない。心の働きを精密に模倣。わしらでは絶対に勝てぬな。ドーハ連中のところまで全力で逃げろ。通りもう帰る。痛いのはもう嫌じゃ。便利じゃの。安全確保までし。
Oh man.
俺たちも逃げるぞ。
Well, there goes that idea.
Yeah. But we did learn. They learned that it doesn't have a
Yeah.
mind.
言ったろ。
Valuable information.
合格者を出すつもり。
That's the guy that went in by
I
himself.
know.
心がないパターンも考えた方がいい。その場合は力技になるだろうけどね。
できるのか。
さあ、わかんない。
Checking in on them. This
Oh.
is hilarious. Like,
It's like a snowball fight.
何を考えてんだかよくわからねえ連中。
Oh, I love the defensive magic just appearing subtly and like small. Oh, this is so fucking cool, man.
だが俺は勝ち方を知っている。
Lavelle's so fucking cool, man. Oh, whoa! It was like a springboard.
どんな状況だろうとな。
now we have full eyes.
力技か。
それでしたら、もしかしたら私、フリーレン様を
I
殺す
believe
かもしれ
it.
ません。そう。はい。じゃあ、作戦を立てようか。And,
Like, she totally believes in her with
Oh
it.
my god. Okay, that was Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Season 1, Episode 24. I love this goddamn show, man. The way that they think through fights within Magic is something that I always wondered if we'd get to within this series because of how complex and fulfilling the explanations so far have been. Nothing is based in a reality that hasn't been thought about in terms of the Magic system. We're bringing up comparisons that we have seen early on that we make on our own as viewers as what these mimics actually, like, you know, these copies actually are to us. And it only works that well because it stands on a leg that we learned through Fern learning it for the first time. And it's so brilliant because within the show, how we've gotten here, we've had more fights that are classified as like hand-to-hand combat or, you know, utilizing like, yeah, we've had fights with Fern and Magic and Aura the Guillotine, but we haven't really gotten like Mage v Mage v Mage before.
Mm-hmm.
And because we haven't gotten that, and instead we've gotten a vast knowledge of what these mages are capable of, it contrasts and goes so beautifully with the current selection of mages being mainly human and their own variation of magic not being as old school as Frieren and Ferns are, but it's new derivative magic. And it's like an infinite possibility of combinations, and
Right.
it's beautiful. It's so much fun to watch, man.
I like that we're being shown throughout the last exam and then even in this exam the intrigue of the modern magic in terms of like how creative it can be in order to, it takes less mana to be able to use magic on the space that you're currently in and whatever items you can find in it, whatever natural elements are actually within your range, instead of like manifesting it yourself with your mana. And so there's smarts to it, but then the idea that modern magic isn't necessarily built for what is this literal test of you're defeating something that is an old era monster.
Yeah.
An
The
old
Spiegel.
era magic. You're not fighting the current modern era Einsum.
Yeah. It's so interesting too because like the way that we would defeat the Einsem, like through building up what strong spells are within this world. When it comes to older magic, and it seems to be more foundational, therefore more steadfast and like not flimsy, not something you can break through. And it's interesting that shows itself within like enemies too,
Mhm.
right? Including like the Einsem, because what comes with that, the Einsem's illusion would be much easier to break than the physical embodiment of what the Spiegel is willing to or able to produce.
Right. And definitely all of what we've been given here makes complete sense to us when we come to the end of this episode where it's like Fern might be the one that is able to defeat the copy of Frieren, because it takes me back to her fight with Aerie. It takes me back to how other people have talked about Fern as she fights like how my grandpa would be training me to fight. Fern has developed through being the apprentice of Frieren this brute strength, and a huge amount of mana. Like, obviously, Frieren is that character that has the immense mana that we know that she does, but Fern is a really great student of Frieren.
Yeah.
And Fern has brute strength and could probably be absolutely terrifying to go up against.
Brute force. And then just, like, the nonchalant, like, I may be able to kill Miss Frieren. Like, it's so perfect. Because, like, yes, like, within the show itself, I believe in Fern within this, like, within her capabilities of it. But, like, the comedic and, like, breath of fresh air that this line of dialogue is able to have existing within a show. Like, I may be able to kill my master because of the fact that obviously it's a copy, but within the belief of Frieren, right? Like, just, it's not only, like, belief, but it's happiness and the confidence that Fern's able to show here.
And the confidence that Frieren's like, oh, okay. Like, this is super, like, to her, she's like, this is the best thing ever, that she, like, feels the confidence here. And there's also trust there. And in terms of, like, as a viewer, my trust level of Fern obviously is very high. And I think back to the Aura the Guillotine time period. Fern fought the, like, step down of Aura the Guillotine. That was Fern's opponent.
Yeah. And that wasn't just a test of mana and how much you have. That was actual combat. And within that, like, even, okay, think about that, and think about when that fight first started, and Stark was kind of creating a distraction so that Fern was able to charge up and attack. I wholeheartedly believe in Fern's capabilities. I don't know how it's going to present itself, right? In terms of strategy, are we going to try to distract this other Frieren while Fern is able to charge up? Or within, like, we're getting emphasis that it doesn't have a mind, but it's able to replicate one so quickly, like the illusion of a mind, that I wonder if this other version of Frieren would be expecting Fern to be the one to come at it, or because of Frieren's light expression at Fern saying that I think that I can kill them, will that be the opening that will be created, right? Like,
this
it's
idea
like,
of illusions and imagination and kind of the difference between them. And the imagination is only capable of a human mind. We get the idea of, like, Sensei having, like, a superhuman imagination. But these mindless copies, all they can do is create illusions of such. Land is an illusionist. Like, super interesting kind of, like, putting both of these words next to each other and talking about the actual differences between them in this world. I think that this is a really interesting moment in this show of, we've been here for 24 episodes basically getting to know Fern, and I would say in any other show, when we have a person offering up themselves as the one that is going to go fight what we would deem the big bad boss, we would have, like, a nervous energy to some extent. Honestly, it could go that way. It could go a bad way. It could go devastation. But from what has been built in terms of foundation of comfort and, like, everything's gonna be okay here, at least with Frieren and Fern, that, I mean, they could totally blow my expectations out of the water. They could take my comfort and rip it out from under me, but... You know
why I have that comfort and what it's derived from? Whether it was Flame? God, I am so sorry. Whether it was Flame or Frieren, within both of their manners of teaching, and not even teaching, but just being present in the moment, everything comes across as, like, blatantly open, right? And honest to a point, like, and honest when it comes to communicating with the mage under them about whether it's deception, whether it's, like, controlling your mana, hiding it, right, concealing it. Because of how open Frieren has always been with Fern, it leads me to believe that, in a scary way, Frieren doesn't have, like, secrets, like, oh, you didn't know about this, Fern, you know what I mean? I think that Frieren has put everything into Fern, and that will benefit Fern within this fight.
You know what this line of thinking also ties into for this episode? This idea of someone who is kind of forthright, honest, they're completely themselves to you up front. Sensei's character, when she started this exam, she was very clear that she would love if everyone passed. Because that, she doesn't want to stop them from being first-class mages. She also doesn't want anyone to die. Here's a golem. Like, she sets things up that if people just, like, got rid of their overthinking or their pride or whatever, them feeling like someone's out to get them or being manipulated. Like, she lays out her intentions.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, a lot of people have failed my exams. I'm aware of that. It's not because I want them to fail. And when we get those two guys running away after Edel leaves with the golem, they're like, see, she really doesn't want anyone to pass.
Yeah.
It's like, she didn't create that copy of herself and put it there to defeat you. Like,
it is fucked that it exists. I kind of wish that Sensei didn't get into the... Like, if I was one of the contestants here, I wouldn't want Sensei to enter and try to get to the bottom just for the aspect of a copy being created.
Obviously, she's aware
yeah.
Of what happens in this dungeon. I mean, she literally set it up that in her mind, if everyone did work together and strategize together, it's perfectly capable through... we get phrases, I think, when the two other examiners are discussing with each other. The way to go about winning here is self-analysis and teamwork.
Self-analysis and teamwork.
Not that hard.
Yeah, but the self-analysis is so fucking awesome, man.
And if you have people that are so in an overthinky, I'm being manipulated, I'm being tricked, prideful places, they're not going to be able to even look at themselves in a self-analysis way, let alone try to believe that someone else is like what they are saying is the truth.
Which then you have the polar opposite of it, which is Frieren, and that's the instant thought. Like,
you know what it takes you back to? When Sign is hearing about how Frieren speaks from Heiter when he was a kid.
Yeah. And
Heiter at first had really a lot of trouble understanding Frieren.
Yeah.
When Frieren was like, I mean what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me 5 minutes.
Exactly, right? And like, it's just trust in what she says blindly. And like, I definitely want to shout out just the entire, like, approach to writing within this series. Look, I've watched a lot of fantasy and read a lot of fantasy that try to incorporate something that is like a mimic, right? And not in terms of, that's just a fourth one to add, but something that mimics how a dead person would look to try to, get advantage, like we got with the Einsam, or like kind of like what's going on with the Spiegel. But I've never seen anything with so little amount of time, 24 episodes. We've been introduced to the cloning and duplication abilities of Land. We've been introduced to the Spiegel. We've been introduced to the Einsam, and then mimics in their own right. And all of them are so vastly and uniquely different from one another, with the same principle of embodying something that they truly aren't. And holy shit, what does it take to make a viewer feel that everything is so uniquely different within one season of a show? It is so well done.
We have this character, Frieren, that after looking into her eyes and giving her a hug, we can see that she is impervious to hypnosis and any other kind of effect on the mind. She's built up this fortress here, and yet she has an amazing imagination to the point where she looks at a mimic chest and she's like, yeah, but I could be being tricked here. There's a chance there's a grimoire in there. And I think that is one of they always say, like, to make a character more endearing, add like little quirks like that when you're writing them. And I think that that's one of my favorites of Frieren, that it's like, yeah, I'm super smart, I can't be hypnotized, I'm like really OP, you know, in this world and in this universe. But she has such this like wonder and curiosity and zest for life that she's like, I might know better, but what if?
Hey,
man, the impossible is sometimes possible.
Fern might pull out the mimic. Like, that's what Fern
so
means by brute force. But dude, Fern's reaction when I think the character's name is Methode, during the hug and everything, Fern was getting so, like, upset.
And then she
pouty.
not only, like, pulls Frieren away, but, like, puts her arms around. It's so much better now that Fern has gotten so much taller than Frieren over these years that they've traveled together.
I never expected to love, first of all, love Warbel, but Ubel and Land are so big to me, like, in terms of characters in the show, and the presence that we've gotten from them hasn't been too much, right? But it was so smart to stick them together.
This scene of them in particular made me so happy. Like, Ubel, I would never want to, like, see her in a room. Like, I would never want... This is one of those characters that's, like, if you did one of those random generators and it was like, who's sitting next to you in the car on the road trip? I'm like, not her. Please no. But
so interesting,
this scene made me so happy. The fact that, like, she kind of just tricked him into having to come in and save her.
But it was a belief and trust,
but also
too.
the belief and trust that he would. Like, because her whole thing is that if she empathizes with people, then she can, like, learn their magic and be able to use it. To be able to empathize with people means that, like, you are starting... Like, of course she could have trust in someone that she's starting to really understand the inner workings of how they feel and how they function and how they think and view life.
Yeah. You're learning what the other person thinks and how they think and what they value and where their priorities lie, what will they let happen and what won't they let happen, you know? And that's very core to understanding somebody. And
he's not necessarily jaded about it when he comes in. He's like, you knew that I would do that. And then they kind of just walk off together into the sunset, you know? It's so cute.
During the fight scene that Ubel had with herself, it was so interesting because obviously with the concept of fighting a copy of yourself, like, already is cool, but to utilize that instance to be able to use, like, point of view fighting from Ubel, we don't get a lot of point of view fighting like this, like, in terms of combat, and usually they pull the camera back and let us see how awesome their animation is, but I thought this was such a unique and great moment to show a point of view shot from Ubel fighting. Like, it's so cool and great hand to hand. It's so dynamic, man. It's so good.
Even hair flies off of these copies. Like, that's insane.
You're so right. Oh my god, like, just the strands coming off of fake Ubel. Oh, it's so good.
I can't believe that... Oh my god, the golem was even fake.
I know.
So it's like, literally, Land was, like, in this position where he's like, she might think that if she gives my copy her golem, that she can just defeat herself and have the golem that her copy has, but that's not even a real golem, so she'd literally be stranded in there. Her life would literally have been on his hands.
I wouldn't want to fight a copy of Frieren. I wouldn't want to fight a copy of Fern. I wouldn't want to fight a copy of Zenzei, but fourth is Land. Imagine fighting a copy of Land, defeating it, only to know that that copy of Land was a copy of itself, and the real copy of Land is behind you about to stab you, you know?
His copies are really freaking good, though, because in terms of, like, how the face started looking as he was bleeding out, and the kind of emotional status or feeling from conversation with his copy, I was starting to believe it totally could have been the real version of him. But then it also got me thinking, now that the real him has entered, does that mean there could be a copy of him? Like, when there was just a copy of him in there, could that be copied if it's not the real version of him?
I was also thinking about that. I just imagine the second he entered, or his copy entered, or both at the same time, like, that's when that version of himself is created, and I think he's just somewhere else already in the dungeon, you know? Man, what do you think of Fern's expression at finding this, like...
This mural.
Such a well-preserved mural of the Unified Dynasty era. Like, it's something that Frieren got last episode, right? From finding all this magic junk.
The magic junk, like...
But, like, God, that awe and amazement, this is a valuable discovery that Fern has. It is so refreshing and awesome to see. And her saying it's magnificent and then eliciting the response from Frieren of just happiness and sharing that with each other.
Right. Like, obviously, of course, Frieren's going to want to map the complete dungeon, not only because she's been kind of shown the enjoyment of that through Himmel, but I'm sure she's had more than just this experience in finding something within that dungeon other than her magical junk that Fern is in awe of or excited that they ended up going through the entire dungeon.
Yeah.
A discovery that no one, like, such a valuable discovery. And so to, like, Fern, this resonates and this is important and this is, like, an amazing experience and memory.
Yeah. I thought that immediately afterward, it was such a good transition. I assumed it was going to transition us back to the party with Hamel again. But Frieren taking a step back and turning away for it to transition to them just walking down the stairs, amazing. They didn't have to do that, but they did it. And I'm so happy they did.
Not every moment, I'm glad about that, actually, because not every moment needs to take a character out of their current place and enjoyment of the present day.
Yeah.
And be reminiscing about the past or showing the audience parallels from the past or why this would be emotionally significant. That moment was emotionally significant enough to us because we had a flashback of the two of them last episode.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even, we could have disregarded the Himmel, that's why we're going to explore the entire dungeon flashback, and just gotten Fern's conversation with Sensei.
You're so right. I love Frieren's immediate reaction to seeing what the fuck's going
She's
on.
like,
This is getting interesting. Now this is how conquering a dungeon should be. I love it so much. Like, I wish that I could see, like, a parallel reality that their group was the one to be within this dungeon and come across a replica of themselves and Frieren. I would love to be able to see how they would have handled that situation, you know?
That would have been interesting on Himmel's end of, like, him having to maybe fight
Frieren?
Frieren.
Yeah. God. How did you feel about the other fight we got this episode with
the Sensei and Edel?
Yeah, Edel, and then I was trying to find the other two's names. Dunst.
The other one might have been said
Edel,
at some point.
Dunst, and Blay.
Blay?
That I was so scared that Edel died.
Yeah. I don't know necessarily what the actual, because when you're in a magical world, what healing magic could possibly do for a person is something that I can't necessarily speculate at the moment, because it's not like we have a healing magic expert that has been with us and explaining, like, exactly what healing magic is able to do and what it's not. We obviously have, like, when we had Sign, we got taught about some poisons and stuff from Stark getting some snake bites. But other than that, in terms of what would be a injury that could kill you versus not, if you got healed fast enough, I'm not exactly sure. She literally was, like, penetrated through the center of her body, completely through. That, to me, seems grave, but she didn't seem to be acting like that one was grave. It was more like, if I get hit again, I'm a goner.
This is the sign that I need to get the fuck out, or if it gets worse, then I'm going to die. I love the inclusion of trying to use modern magic within dungeon combat and how it isn't well suited for it. It makes so much fucking, like, logical sense of why it wouldn't be. They're just based off two completely different realities. It's so interesting. I also love the emphasis on Zenzei's, like, actual what it would take to be able to do what she does.
Every single strand of hair. Yeah. A superhuman imagination.
It kind of, like, connects me back to the fight that Ubel had and seeing those, like, few frayed hairs come off in combat. That is what Sensei is able to control. Every fucking strand of hair.
Crazy. That poor guy who went in by himself. Lavina and Kane seem to still be, like, happily traversing. I mean, they're using a map. They seem to be doing all right. They're safe. They're not currently in a fight. That one guy, though, that went alone.
Just sitting there.
Sitting there. Did he lose his golem, or did he just, because, like, if he's truly given up.
What if he's already at the bottom? What if this is the bottom? Probably not.
Yeah, like, honestly, what would have created this moment where he would have given up so much and then not used his golem to get out? Is it still a pride thing? Is he still, like, Is he gonna wait until sunrise and the golem just magically appears because the test is like over and the golem carries him out? Or...
Okay, I have a question for you. Why does Ubel's clone go for Lan's golem so quickly? Now, there's a couple of different reasons that it could be. Number one, these clones, right, are smart enough to know, holy shit, I'm a very accurate depiction of this. I know what the golem is. I don't want him to escape. I'm going to fucking take it away so I can try to kill them. Or is it like based specifically on Ubel's personality that it would want to take Lan's golem because it knows that it could be a clone and this could be a way to determine if it... Yeah.
That's so tricky because it's like, what is the mind of this clone really thinking when there's
How
not
much
a
Ubel
mind
is
and
it?
it's just mimicking a mind or creating the illusion of a mind? Because an Ubel, a real Ubel's mind would be like, this could totally be a clone of Land and wouldn't even have a real golem. But also, would Ubel necessarily want to go up against themselves first to swipe a golem? Probably not. But for them to go for a golem makes a lot of sense. Like, Ubel even was like, that is what I would have done.
If I'm Ubel, I'm like, if it is a clone, because Land has this ability, then there's no way that clone would also have the golem. I'm going to reach for the golem. If the golem isn't there, I know it's a clone. And then... fuck, Land's just that good and is able to clone the golem as well. So interesting, man. What do you think's gonna come in next episode?
I think that Werbel and Sharf and Aerie are probably gonna win their little battle. I have high hopes for them. So I think that they're gonna be good. Depending on timing though, like where are the timings matching up? Because I feel like part of me imagines the rest of the people finishing up where they are and then meeting the group that's currently sitting outside of the Frieren chamber.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, it seems like we're about to get into like Fern going in there, so I'm not really sure where the timings are matching up across the dungeon.
I feel
like,
you.
Are Lavina and Kane really gonna get there in time? I don't know.
God, I am so interested. Like, I can't be like, in any other show, the last line of dialogue was, I may be able to kill Miss Frieren. I'd be like, okay, they're going to create a distraction. Fern's going to power up brute force. It's going to happen. But because of how creative this show is, it could present itself in so many different ways.
I know. You know what I've been debating lately? Cosplaying something from Frieren, but I can't decide who I would want to cosplay as. Obviously the
wig
main...
or no wig?
I'd probably do a wig. I've never actually like tried on a wig, so I don't really know like how to take care of them or if it would look weird or whatever, but I don't think my hair necessarily matches anyone as it stands.
Yeah. Do you know, like, have any like people
I
there?
think it's between Frieren and Fern. It's more like who I feel like I could pull off better out of the two. In terms of outfit, I would probably prefer... Oh, yeah, Ubel could be too. I don't know how the side pony would look in real life, but I feel like that takes me back to when I was like 13.
Yeah.
In some like long plaid shorts.
I just feel like I don't see anime characters with Ubel's specific shade of green in their hair.
And I do love green. It is my favorite color.
Yeah.
So, oof.
I don't know.
And an all black outfit. That's cute.
Are
you gonna do Werbel?
Maybe. That'd be pretty cool, right?
I think Werbel as a cosplay would be so cool.
Werbel would be cool. Land, I don't know, man, for a cosplay.
You could have done Sharf before the change.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to do like a gender bend Zensei or something.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
I love her designs so much. I am a fan of gender bends, though. I'm a huge fan of gender bends.
I'm not typically.
Ooh, I should do Himel.
Oh, Himel would be good. Dude, in battle, last thing I'll say, in battling Zensei, they like had so much buildup of like, okay, there are two approaches that the magic could be. One, you're going to try to amplify strength and break through this defensive magic. or you're going to be specific enough to find a way through it. And then it's like, fuck, I didn't think they were going to do both. And that, God, I fucking love the show.
And way less than 15 seconds.
Yeah, way less.
She was like, I doubt we'll get more than 15 seconds. And then it was like, reality check, you don't even get the 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Dang.
All
I
right.
can't process anything in that
15
speed
seconds?
of time. I would be I would lose in this world. I'd still be there trying to like process and think by the time I'd already be dead.
I could do it.
The confidence, I like.
How
it.
would you, if you were in this world and you had to fight a version of yourself like this, where would your thoughts immediately go in terms of like weaknesses or self-analysis? I think I would have a tendency, like, I would want to pre-plan everything and make sure I have like 1,000 backup plans. And if it's truly a copy of myself, I just fucking run at
A
the
barrage.
shit. Yeah.
I feel like for me, it would have to be a barrage of different things. I feel like overstimulate the fuck out of my copy.
Yeah.
Like noises, things coming from this direction, things coming from that direction, like literally mental overload.
You
or
honestly have a good
mental
point.
overload, at least for myself. Like that, I feel like that's the only way. And then literally doing all of that from every direction and then coming up right in front and just...
I would start like eating food and chewing it with my mouth open because I know it would piss the other version of myself off and they'd want to come kill me, but it'd just be a fake out. Spit it in their face. Stab them real quick. I don't know. All right, that's all I have you.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.